I'm Todd Lee M.D., 2012 IFBB North American Lightweight Bodybuilding Champion. Sorry about that, it's just a long title, I gotta take a breath. I'm here with mindandmuscle.com to discuss cutting Prohormones of 2014, the best cutting Prohormones of 2014. So a cutting Prohormone, okay, cutting means to cut the fat off. So like you got a steak, it's a bunch of muscle, there's some fat on the outside, you trim the fat off, that's cutting the fat off. That's the point of cutting. It's to cut the fat off so the muscle shows from under the skin. A lot of people are like, I want to get a cycle that's going to make me ripped and big. And it's like, that doesn't happen. You have to pick one. You either want to get big or you want to get cut and ripped. So cutting Prohormones, cut the fat off that you put on when you were bulking. The best way to do that is with the most masculine hormones you can create. So a normal testosterone molecule can convert into estrogen or convert into DHT. Estrogen builds fat and stores water. DHT burns fat and excretes water. So what you want to do is find something that's going to either be a modified DHT molecule, something like the illegal compounds of Anavar, Winstrol, Mastron, etc., or something that just converts into straight DHT, like the prohormone epiandro. Then what that'll do is it'll inhibit the aromatase enzyme and stop our normal testosterone from converting into estrogen. Anytime we take something like testosterone on a cutting cycle, we got to either be taking an aromatase inhibitor like a ROMX or like Form-XT to stop the aromatase enzyme from converting that testosterone into estrogen, or you've got to be on enough DHT or modified DHT molecules to inhibit the aromatase and SHBG molecule to keep everything into a dry direction. Dry being masculine, wet being feminine. Now, there's some prohormones like 1AD that convert into one test. One test is basically like the holy grail of anabolics because it can not convert into estrogen, it doesn't convert into testosterone, DHT, and it actually binds or is more potent, depending on where you look, more effectively than natural testosterone. So one test is the best because it's just neutral, it doesn't do masculine or feminine, it just builds muscle. That'll hang on to your muscle when you're in a calorie deficit. So we're talking about cutting, we're talking about trimming the fat off the muscle. The only way to do that is in a calorie deficit. You can't be eating like garbage and being a calorie surplus and just taking a bunch of prohormones and expect to have your fat fall off. It doesn't really work like that. Even though DHT burns fat directly, if your liver and muscles aren't going to use that fat for energy, it just gets redeposited into the adipose tissue by the end of the day. So to go through the list, we would want a one test to just build or hang on to the existing muscle, an epiandro, which is going to convert to DHT, which will then inhibit aromatase. It also gives you the benefits of strength and aggression and burns fat. The burning of fat, that's obvious. The aggression, why would you want to be aggressive? Well, because if you're on a calorie deficit diet, you're going to be very tired and very miserable, and you're not going to have the energy to lift as hard and heavy as you want. So having an increase in strength and aggression allows you to lift the same amount of weight as you normally would prior to your cut, which will help you hang on to your muscle. If you don't lift heavy and you don't train hard and you just start cutting out calories, you're going to lose muscle along with fat. And then you're not going to look any better, you're just going to look smaller. So that's the long and the short of it, is a one test with an epiandro. Now the side effects of this is if you don't have any type of normal testosterone, because these two may inhibit your natural testosterone production, then you might lose sexual function and sex drive. So we can always add in a little bit of 4AD or 4-andro to convert into testosterone so you have a basic level or a test base that allows you to have normal hormonal functioning. There were a lot of the cutting steroids that are oral types are modified versions of DHT, and they're modified at the 2' position. That's because DHT, although it's 5 times as strong as testosterone, when it gets included into the muscle cell, gets degraded inside the muscle cell, so it never actually gets an anabolic or muscle building effect. The modification of the 2-carbon allows that to survive inside the muscle cell, so it may have a chance to migrate to the nucleus and produce more protein fibers. So with this, we've got 17 Pro by Algae Sciences, which is going to convert into something similar to Winstrol. So then the total package would be an epiandro with the 17 Pro and a one test. And that's going to be the driest cycle possible to cut the most amount of fat and hang on to the most amount of muscle while in a calorie deficit, allowing you to lift as aggressively and with as much weight as you normally would if you were not in a calorie deficit. This is Todd Lee M.D. with MindandMuscle.com.